Hello everyone, this is Angel Vinitha of 2nd AC with roll number 19BQ18093. Now I am going to give seminar in DST, which is Digital System Design. Now I am going to give some basic information about introduction to VHDL. VHDL. Here VHDL, in HDL, HDL means Hardware Descriptive Language. Particularly V is VHSIC, which is very high speed integrated circuit. This hardware descriptive language is particularly or specifically written for those hardware which are required to build a circuit. For example, to build a counter. We need flip-flops and gates. To build a counter, we will write the program based on the behavior of the flip-flops and gates. Now, how VHDL has started and who has founded VHDL. VHIC is an initiative that was taken by the United States Defense Department in early 1980s, which led to the formation of the VHDL. Now the VHDL, the first version is VHDL 87 and later it was upgraded into VHDL 93. Now the VHDL is the first hardware descriptive language that is to be used by the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, that is IEEE 1076, and later the standardized version IEEE 1164 is used for multi-value logic system. Now we shall see various types of VHDL. Various models of the VHDL. We have three models of VHDL. First one is behavioral model. In this behavioral type of model, we will only particularly see what the model of the program is. We will not see what are its components. We will not see what are its components and what's its components and what's the matter of this, and we will not see all this. We shall see only behavior. How does it flow? Now coming to the second type of the model of VHDL, that is data flow. Here we will only particularly see the data flow of the program. And coming to structural. In this structural model of VHDL, will define a prototype. It means will define what are the components to be used in the VHDL and what are the types and what are the things we need to build a program. For example, if you see here, to build a counter we need flip-flops and gates. Like the way in structural model will define model will get to know the now a seminar in analog and digital communications. In analog communications, we have basically two types of signals. One is modulating signal and other one is carrier signal. This modulating signal is also called as low frequency signal and carrier signal is also called as high frequency signal. The carrier signal is denoted as AC into cos 2 pi FCT plus pi. The modulating index is also called as message signal. Which is M of t. The importance of the carrier signal is to carry the message signal to longer distance. Now, the carrier signal also reduces the size of the antenna because it converts the low frequency signal to the high frequency signal. Now, the basic definition of amplitude modulation. Amplitude modulation, which is AM. In AM, if we change the amplitude according to the message signal by keeping frequency and the phase constant, then it is known as the amplitude modulation. We'll have a specific expression for the amplitude modulation, which is S of Am of t is equals to AC into 1 plus Ka M of t into cos 2 pi FCT. This is the basic expression of amplitude modulation. Here AC is nothing but amplitude of carrier signal. Amplitude of carrier signal. And M of t is message signal. And M of t is message signal. And one is a dimensionless quantity. And Ka is amplitude sensitivity of modulator, and Fc is carrier frequency. And in this AM we will have envelope of AM signal. You shall see that. Envelope of AM signal is AC into 1 plus Ka M of t. This is envelope of amplitude signal. Now the second parameter in this is modulation index or depth of the modulation. Modulation index. Modulation index. It is defined as measure of how much a modulating signal measures the carrier signal. It is denoted by mu or M of A, that is equals to Ka into max of M of T. This is a modulation index or depth of a modulation expression. Now we will describe the amplitude modulation in block diagram. Suppose this is AM and we will give input. Input is M of T and carrier signal is AC into cos 2 pi FCT, and we will get the output amplitude modulation as S of T. That is the basic expression we will get by message signal, and by carrier signal we will get S of T is equal to AC into 1 plus Ka M of T into cos 2 pi FCT. Now if we have single tone frequency, then with sinusoidal, it means sinusoidal means we may have sine wave or cos wave. Then the M of T is equals to Am cos 2 pi FMT. Now by substituting this M of T in this modulation index in place of M of T, then we will get Ka of max of Am cos 2 pi FMT. We will get this equation as M of T for modulation index. Now the modulation index can also be defined as ratio of amplitude of carrier signal to ratio of amplitude of modulating signal, that is K is equals to AC by AM, that is K is equals to 1 by AC. Suppose in some model problems, if they directly give Ka, then we should not consider this, because if we consider this, then we will get the wrong answer. So this is all about the amplitude modulation. Now I am giving seminar in control systems. What is the basic definition of control system? system. The interconnection of some components is known as a system. And if this system is controlled by some other thing, then it is known as control system. This is the basic definition of the control system. There are various types of control systems. From them, I am going to tell about open and closed loop control system. Open loop control systems. The output quantity of a control system is not a feedback of input quantity. Then it is known as open loop control system. Examples of this is we shall see the block diagram of open loop control system. And this is a plant. This is the open loop control system. And input is denoted as R of S and output is denoted as C of S. This is input and this is output. Now examples in open loop control system. We have three examples. That first one is open loop temperature control system, traffic lights and fan regulator. And now coming to open loop. Open loop temperature control system. In open loop, it will not be affected by any other outer noises. The block diagram of this open loop temperature control system is this is electrical furnace. This is mechanical relay. And here it is sensor. This is controller. This is A to D converter. And this is digital display. Now this is the structural design of open loop temperature control system. Here the AC input, will give AC input to this. Here the AC input is connected to the electrical furnace through mechanical relay, and the temperature of this electrical furnace is decided by the on and off of the mechanical relay. And this is the heat generator. So it generates heat, and this generated heat is taken by the sensor, and it then it converts into, and it gives analog input, and that analog input is converted, is taken by the analog or digital converter, and it gives proportional digital output, and then we'll get the digital display, and the digital display and temperature is displayed on the digital display. And this is one first example of the open loop control system. And second example is traffic lights. The traffic lights is on roads is dependent on time. And third example is fan regulator. The fan regulator is dependent on us. If we give its mode or level of speed of fan, then it works on this level. And coming to closed loop control system. In closed loop control system, it is the input is dependent on the output. If input changes, the output also changes. And in closed loop control system, the block diagram. We shall see block diagram of closed loop control system. This is input, and this is error detector. This is controller. And this is open loop control system. And this is output, and from here you have feedback. In open loop control system, we'll have feedback. This is the difference. This is the difference between the open loop control system and the closed loop control system. And the basic components of this is error detector, controller, open loop closed system, and feedback. The work of the error detector is to detect any errors in the given input signal, and the controller is to modify and amplify the error signal, and the feedback is to take some of the sample output and convert it into same format as that of the input signal which was given earlier in the starting. And examples of the closed loop control system, and examples of the closed loop control system is closed heat home system. It means the temperature is detected by the sensor in the heating system rather than our desired temperature. It means some particular temperature is fixed in it. We need not to give some temperature to it. It will have some fixed temperature in it. And I would like to tell the differences between the open loop closed system and open loop control system and closed loop control system. In open loop control system, there is no need of the feedback, and it is very less and less price, and it is very reliable, and it has less bandwidth, and it is very structure is very small, and it is very less, and it does no disturbance in the input or any of its function for outer noises, and no need of feedback. Particularly in open loop control system, we do not need feedback. And coming to closed loop control system, error detector is must, and feedback is also must, and the structure of this is very large, and price of this is also very more, and maintenance of this open loop closed loop control system is also very high, and bandwidth is also very more, and if any difference in the input also changes the output.